right, let's go to breaking news now. South Africa has just been removed from the grey list. An announcement was made a short while ago. Let's now welcome Mr. Ismail Momoniat, who's the technical advisor at the National Treasury, for some reaction. Mr. Momoniat, it's a pleasure to have you with us on SA Today, sir. So let's, of course, get your quick reaction as the National Treasury on that long-awaited announcement of our status on the grey list. We understand Treasury had given out a media statement citing that you had substantially completed the 22 action items that were contained in the action plan that was adopted when South Africa was initially grey listed.
Yes, look, that's old news. That's what we did at the June plenary, and then we only had an on-site left, which was done at the end of July. And now I've just come out of the meetings with the FATF. I'm out here in Paris where the meetings have been held, and FATF has just made the announcement that they have decided to delist us from the grey list. So we have real cause to celebrate. I think this is a tremendous confidence in our ability to deal with anti-money laundering and terror financing, and we're now off the grey list.
Absolutely, absolutely great news and welcome news there, Ismail. But are you satisfied that all the necessary policies in order to safeguard the country against such practice in the future are foolproof? If we track back, we found ourselves on this list as a result of not doing enough to stop money laundering as well as terror financing. What can you specifically point the nation towards as having been the key driving and effective measures that have been implemented by Treasury to ensure that we never get to find ourselves on this list? What reforms basically and counter or detection measures has been implemented in order to guard against practices, especially taking into account, Mr. Momoniat, that we are currently hearing shocking revelations of crime syndicates operating within police and even judiciary?
No, absolutely. Look, our policy framework is amongst the best in the world. Our problem is implementation. Our problem is what FATF calls, we did very badly in effectiveness, the poor ability to implement our laws, to get enforcement done, to supervise properly against money laundering. That is a challenge. And yes, getting off the grey list just means that FATF believes that we don't need to be monitored to begin to do the right things, and to do the right things for us as a country, not for FATF. And what this means is that we've started to do the right things. We still have a long way to go. As you see from the events at Matlanga and even every day, if you look at corruption around Tembisa Hospital and so on, we still have to get to the criminals. We still have to get them prosecuted. We still have to get them convicted. We still have to make sure that we've stopped all forms of corruption and abuse of our financial system. So the challenges are still there. In fact, the worst lesson to learn from our exit of the grey list is that we've solved our problems. Not at all. We've just started to solve our problems, and we do need to do far more.
And I mean, Ismail, what has been the impact on South Africa the last 2 years that we've found ourselves on the grey list? If you can just mention a few.
Look, aside from it being extremely humiliating, and we've taken a knock on our reputation, it has meant that investors have had to do, in many cases, enhanced due diligence when they transact with South Africa. And what this will do is that at least it will begin to restore those types of relationships towards a more normal situation. And that will be good for us with regard to investments, with regard to the rand, and hopefully with regard to economic growth. And if we continue on this path and we start a virtuous cycle and investors begin to demonstrate more confidence, then I think that will lead to a better outcome for us as a country.
Mr. Momoniat, we really appreciate you taking time to speak to us about those good news as well as developments. That was Technical Director at the National Treasury, Mr. Ismail Momoniat, there with reaction to South Africa's grey list status that was announced a short while ago. South Africa no longer finds itself on that grey list.